Wentworth Miller, a name that once commanded screens around the world. A face that people immediately associated with brilliance, mystery, and calm power. But you've probably wondered, why did Wentworth Miller stop playing the lead roles that made him famous? Why did the man who gave us Michael Scofield, one of the most iconic TV characters of all time, suddenly take a step back from leading Hollywood projects? Let's dive deep into the real story. Wentworth Miller first burst into global fame through Prison Break. The show didn't just make him famous, it made him a legend. He was the brain, the planner, the quiet storm behind a revolution of television storytelling. People were addicted to his character. Every word, every stare, every calculated move. Miller made it look effortless. But what many people didn't see behind the scenes was the immense pressure that came with that fame. Wentworth Miller had spent years auditioning, trying to find a space for himself in an industry that often valued image over authenticity. When he finally landed Prison Break, it was a dream come true, but it also became the start of a personal battle he didn't expect. After the massive success of the first few seasons, Miller began receiving scripts, tons of them. Hollywood saw him as the next big action star, the intelligent hero type who could carry any movie. But here's the truth. Wentworth Miller didn't see himself that way anymore. He was tired of pretending to fit into a mold that didn't represent who he truly was. See, Hollywood loves boxes. They love to label actors. The tough guy, the romantic lead, the genius. And once you're in one, it's hard to break free. Miller, though, didn't want to keep playing the same kind of character. He was evolving as a person, but Hollywood wasn't ready to evolve with him. Wentworth Miller has spoken openly about how exhausting it became to constantly present an image that wasn't his truth. Around the time Prison Break ended, he started distancing himself from leading man roles. It wasn't because he lost passion for acting, it was because he wanted control over the kind of stories he told and the message they carried. He was also quietly dealing with something deeply personal, his mental health. In several interviews, Miller shared that he struggled with depression for years. Imagine that. While millions were watching him as a brilliant escape artist on screen, he was, in real life, trying to escape the weight of fame, expectations, and self-doubt. He once revealed that during the height of his fame, he felt isolated and exhausted. Acting was no longer just a craft, it became a mask. Every red carpet appearance, every press interview, it was all performance. And that realization hit him hard. Wentworth Miller eventually made a bold choice to walk away from what everyone else considered success. That decision shocked fans and Hollywood executives alike. But for Miller, it was liberation. He wanted to live truthfully, even if that meant stepping away from the spotlight that had defined him for so long. After Prison Break, Miller shifted gears. He started writing. Many people don't know that he's an accomplished screenwriter. His script, Stoker, a dark, psychological thriller, proved that his creativity went far beyond acting. It showed a side of him that didn't rely on fame or image. He could tell stories without having to be the face of them. Writing became his new form of freedom. It gave him space to express himself honestly, without judgment. And for someone who had felt trapped by the expectations of Hollywood, that was everything. But there's another side to this story. His decision to be more open about his identity. When Wentworth Miller came out as gay, it wasn't just a personal announcement. It was a statement of courage. He had kept that part of his life private for years, fearing it would affect his career. Hollywood, even in the modern era, still carried its prejudices. When he finally came out, it wasn't in a flashy headline or a talk show moment. It was through a letter declining an invitation to a Russian film festival, because Russia's government was promoting anti-LGBTQ+ laws at the time. That one act told the world exactly who Wentworth Miller was: a man of principle, a man who valued integrity over fame. From then on, he became more selective about the roles he accepted. He didn't want to play characters that went against who he was or failed to represent truthfully the kinds of people he cared about. He even stated publicly that he no longer wanted to play straight characters, not because he couldn't, but because he wanted to contribute to visibility and authenticity in storytelling. So when you look back and wonder why Wentworth Miller stopped playing lead roles in movies, it's not because Hollywood stopped calling, it's because he stopped answering in the same way. He chose peace over pressure, truth over expectation, and purpose over popularity. He became an advocate for mental health awareness, especially among men. He talked openly about his struggles, his depression, and how hard it was to maintain an image when you're breaking inside. That honesty resonated with thousands of people who saw him not just as a celebrity, but as a human being. Today, Wentworth Miller continues to work, but on his own terms. You'll see him doing projects that matter to him, not just what the industry thinks he should do. He's more focused on writing, activism, and creating space for others to be themselves. He's no longer chasing the lead role because he understands that leadership doesn't always mean standing in front of the camera. Sometimes it means standing up for what's right behind it. Think about it. Wentworth Miller could have continued doing blockbuster films, earning millions, and being in the spotlight. But he chose authenticity. That's rare. He refused to play a role in life that didn't belong to him. And that, in many ways, makes him even more of a lead than before. Miller's story reminds us that fame can be both a blessing and a cage, and that walking away from it doesn't mean failure, it can mean freedom. Wentworth Miller didn't disappear. He just transformed. He became something more real, more grounded, and more powerful than the image Hollywood tried to shape for him. So if you ever find yourself wondering where he went, he's still here, just not where the cameras used to point. He's living a life that's finally his, and that's something worth respecting. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Wentworth Miller's story and want to hear more real stories about your favorite stars, their struggles, their choices, and their truth, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. More powerful stories are coming your way, and you don't want to miss them.